Chapter 7 introduces us to the solar system, sort of an overview of the solar system. Our class titled The Solar System, first part of it is really about history of astronomy. How do we come to know what we know? And then finally, we start talking about comparative planetary studies. That's going to be the solar system. And so that comes to us actually in Chapter 7. We care about this because Earth is part of the solar system, and understanding how the solar system works is important to understanding how Earth works. The Earth is the only planet we live on. It's the only planet capable of supporting human life without a whole bunch of artificial means. And so that's why we need to know how Earth fits into the solar system and how the solar system affects Earth. Most obvious part of the thing about the solar system, and this is not the entire solar system, but this is the most obvious part, and what people think about are the planets. There's 8 major planets here, and these major planets are the key parts of the solar system, though there are plenty of other parts of the solar system that are there. Now, you remember back in the early part of the class, we talked about the definition of planet. Originally, the Greeks referred to a planet as a wanderer. It wandered the sky. So it looks like a star. In fact, you go out at night and look up and you see a couple really bright stars to the south. They're not really stars, they're planets. And then off to the east, there's a reddish-looking star that's really bright. That's actually Mars. That's also a planet. But those planets move around. If you were to go out later in the year, the 2 planets you see to the south will be different distances away from each other, and eventually they'll pass one another in the sky. Mars won't always be in the same constellation, so these things move around. Classically, there are 5 planets that you see with the naked eye: Mercury and Venus, and then Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. The ancients included 2 more, the sun and the moon, because they also move around the sky, and so they were considered wanderers. Hence 7. You get 7 days of the week. Astronomers tend to be a little bit lazy, and they develop symbols for each of the planets. So you can use this symbol in an equation to represent the planet. And so the symbols are, for Earth, we have, a circle with an X in it. X, you are here. That also symbolizes latitude and longitude. Venus over here, rather, Venus, the symbol actually indicates that the round part there is the sun, and the symbol indicates that we have the sun, and it goes back and forth on either side of the sun. And so that's what that symbol represents right there. Mercury has a symbol that looks almost the same as Venus, but it has those little wings on top of there. Those little wings on top of here indicate it goes back and forth really fast. And then Mars, Roman god of war, is a shield and a spear. And so that's what that symbol represents. Jupiter, the symbol for Jupiter is Jupiter, king of the gods, carrying a thunderbolt. So that's his arm up here, his arm holding a thunderbolt. Saturn, Jupiter's father, this represents the throne that Saturn sits on. Uranus, again, it's a spear with a shield. Looks a whole lot like Mars, except it goes straight up. Few places use an alternate, to the right there's an alternate symbol for Uranus. Neptune, symbol for Neptune, the god of the oceans, is a trident. And so there's like a couple different ways I've seen that drawn. The symbol for the sun is just a circle with a dot in the middle, because everything goes around the sun. In the early days of the 20th century, when they used to think about planets, including Pluto, when they discovered Pluto, they thought it was a planet, they came up with a symbol for Pluto right there. And unlike the other symbols, which are really cool, symbol for Pluto is kind of silly, it's just a P and an L. First 2 letters are Pluto, but it also, P and L were the initials of Percival Lowell, the astronomer at whose observatory Pluto was discovered.